The Rise of Skywalker is set to be a film by director J.J. Abrams that will be answering a lot of the burning questions from The Force Awakens, as well as bringing in new revelations and saga-wide implications into this story. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So what's really intriguing to me about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film really is going to deliver when it comes to the storytelling of Luke Skywalker, where he's been and exactly what his story is going to be in this movie, is that J.J. Abrams will be exploring multiple scenes related to him being a Force ghost, and of course him in the form of flashback sequences that are going to extend the storytelling of course, The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, which is great in my opinion. Now, of course, everybody wants Luke back alive, which seems like it's going to be, a very slim chance of that even happening. However, him coming back to life temporarily, there are a lot of hints and or indicators that we have gone over before in the past. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intriguing for this movie. Now, specifically, a description of Luke's Force Ghost and Rey sitting across from each other on stone benches, where a large Jedi structure is seen in the background. It's described to be a moment in which Luke is telling Rey an extended story about his past that was established in both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Luke is described to touch Rey's forehead, where he is able to visually show her a moment of his past, where now both the Force Ghost of Luke and Rey are witnessing a memory of Luke's Jedi Temple slaughter. The sequence is described to show Luke Skywalker standing back up with R2-D2 and pulling his hood back, where he begins to walk through the field where all of the dead Jedi students remain. It's said to be a moment in which it transitions to a scene in which Luke begins a funeral pyre for Jedi students in front of the burning Jedi Temple, giving an homage of what Luke did to Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi. Luke is said to be explaining all of this to Rey, where eventually another sequence covers both Rey and Luke's Force Ghost witnessing a memory of Luke's past, witnessing the temple beginning to collapse down to the ground, where Luke is described to leave his black Jedi robe behind to honor his temple and his teachings, where he moves on and hikes up a hill toward an X-Wing that has landed on the ground. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, first things first, absolutely this is an extension of what we already saw in The Last Jedi, and this also connects to the photograph that we saw, all thanks to Vanity Fair, not too long ago, where they gave us a nice image of Luke Skywalker with R2-D2 with a lot of fire in the background. The only continuity error there, or thing that makes me confused, is that in that shot, Luke Skywalker has long hair, like how he was on Ahch-To, so might have been a mistake, might have not been, maybe there's something more to it. It could have something to do with the Force Ghost of Luke being able to show Luke Skywalker, or should I say showing Rey, the past of a moment involving Luke. So basically the Force Ghost of Luke is able to really change the environment around Rey, and this may very well tie directly into what the flash fights are, and exactly what makes the flash fights possible. So Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost, he changes the environment around himself and Rey, and shows a moment of his past, basically showing her a moment in which Luke Skywalker was getting back up off the ground with R2-D2, because the last time we saw him, he was on his knees. Now he's getting back up and pulling his hood back, and going through the field and witnessing all of his dead Jedi students, eventually creating a funeral pyre. Now this is giving an homage, a nice callback to what Luke did to his father at the very end of Episode 6, where we see the Darth Vader suit and body beginning to burn away on Endor. So very, sneaky way by J.J. Abrams of giving us a direct callback to that of Return of the Jedi, and I gotta say, I gotta give him props for that. So, we're not quite sure exactly how many dead Jedi there really are on the field, but if you guys look very close in The Last Jedi, you can see almost more than 8 Jedi that are dead on the field in, of course, that movie. So, Luke Skywalker, it's hard to imagine him gathering all these different bodies and creating a funeral pyre, hence why it only transitions to him watching, the dead Jedi students actually having a funeral pyre. Now, this also leads to a sequence in which Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 witness the collapse of the Jedi Temple. So far, all what we have seen so far is just the burning of the temple, right? We've only seen it set ablaze, and Luke Skywalker just staring at it. Now in Episode 9, we're going to witness it collapsing down to the ground, where Luke Skywalker eventually leaves one of his cloaks behind. the black outfit that we saw at the very end of course, episode 8, where he was on Crate in that black robe. The same exact one, except this is being used in a flashback, where he's actually laying it down on the ground and keeping it in front of the collapsed Jedi Temple. I say, JJ never really got to experiment with Luke Skywalker at all. You know, in The Force Awakens, we got that one glimpse of him in the flashback, and just 30 seconds or so of him on the edge of a cliff on Ahch-To. Other than that, you know, J.J. Abrams only handled, you know, references of Luke Skywalker and, you know, the MacGuffin of Luke Skywalker being, of course, the map, and that was it. So you can only imagine why JJ really wants to explore flashbacks and Force Ghost sequences involving the character of Luke. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.